I remember the exact moment I realized I had been trained to lose. It was after I had spent the last of my energy, time, and dignity trying to help a friend who didn't even like me, let alone love me. I canceled plans for her, loaned her money I didn't really have, stayed up late listening to her problems while I was silently breaking inside. And I didn't realize I was being used until she betrayed me in the most heartbreaking way. Let me say something that's going to hurt, but it's the truth. The reason you keep getting disappointed, the reason you keep getting the bare minimum, the reason you always end up feeling empty is because you keep choosing to be selfless in a world that rewards selfishness, especially for women. You were raised to be nice, to be nurturing, to give, to accommodate, to be quiet, to understand, to compromise, even when it hurts. But I'm here to tell you the truth they never told you. Selfish women always win. And if that sentence triggers you, good! That means this video is exactly for you. I need you to hear this one thing. They only benefit from your selflessness when it serves them. Nobody is coming to reward you for being the woman who always sacrifices. Most women were not raised to be loved. They were raised to be useful. You were taught how to cook for a man, not how to protect your own peace. You were taught how to sacrifice, not how to succeed. You were taught how to stay quiet, to keep the peace, not how to speak up when you're being disrespected. We were trained to be tools for everyone else's comfort. Growing up, I watched my mother wear herself thin for everyone around her, her husband, her kids, her church, her friends, and no one ever asked, "How are you doing?" Her reward for being so selfless? Burnout, bitterness, and the aching feeling of being invisible. When a woman finally stands up and says, "No, I'm choosing myself," the world calls her difficult, cold, selfish. They need you to stay selfless because your selflessness keeps them comfortable. But you weren't born to be a servant. You were born to be a woman, a powerful, intuitive, sacred being. And your energy, it's not for everybody. So the next time someone calls you selfish for putting yourself first, smile. You're finally doing it right. But if you're thinking, what if I lose people when I change? Oh, honey, that's the point. Women are taught to feel guilty for everything. You say no to a favor, you feel bad. You choose your peace over pleasing someone, you feel bad. Why? Because you were conditioned to believe that your job is to manage everyone's emotions, except your own. But let me ask you this. What happens when your people-pleasing doesn't please you? You collapse. I used to think that saying yes to everyone would make me loved, needed, safe. But what I learned the hard way is that saying yes to everyone else is often a no to yourself. And when you keep saying no to yourself over and over again, your soul starts to rot. You lose your glow, your fire, the woman you were supposed to become. That's what happened to me. I had to learn that being selfish doesn't mean being heartless. It means having boundaries, knowing your value, understanding that if you're not okay, then nothing you give out is pure. There was a time I stayed friends with someone who constantly drained me. I'd leave every conversation with her feeling worse, not better. But I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I didn't want to seem mean. So I kept giving. Until one day, I realized I'm not afraid of being mean. I'm afraid of being misunderstood. And that's the prison most women live in, the fear of being the nice girl, the one who's easy to love. You don't win by being easy to love. You win by being hard to misuse. So when you start setting boundaries, you're not becoming a bad person, you're becoming a clear one. The moment you stop being afraid to lose people, everything clicks. You stop begging. You stop chasing. You stop over-explaining. Because now You understand your worth is not tied to who stays in your life. It's tied to what you allow in your life. I used to think that if I just loved harder, stayed longer, gave more, they would finally see my worth. I thought if I explained myself well enough, they would understand me. If I forgave fast enough, they would finally stop hurting me. But you know what I realized? The people who are committed to misunderstanding you will never hear you, no matter how softly you speak. And the ones who truly value you will never require you to set yourself on fire to keep them warm. So I stopped. I lost people, but I found myself. Because every person that walked away weren't rejecting me. They were making room for someone better, someone who didn't need me to shrink or suffer in order to stay. Let me be real with you. The fear of losing people is the root of most of your exhaustion. You're tired not because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're trying to hold on to things that are already slipping. So, here's your permission slip. Let them go. Let the people who only love you when you're easy, go. Let the people who only clap when you're small, go. Let the people who guilt you for growing, go. Because selfish women don't just protect their peace, they prioritize it. Now, if you're still unsure about what being selfish really looks like in daily life, let me walk you through the practical shifts, the habits, the mindset, the behaviors that selfish women live by every single day. Selfish women are magnetic, not because they're perfect, not because they're mean, but because they've mastered one thing: energy control. They don't hand out access just because someone wants it. They don't explain themselves 10 times to be understood. They don't show up to prove a point. They are the point. So, what do they do differently? 1, they say no without guilt. If something doesn't feel right, a date, a favor, a phone call, a last-minute request, they say no. They don't write 3 paragraphs to justify it. They just say, no, I can't do that. That's it. 2, they don't explain their lifestyle. Whether they're resting, soft launching a business, or protecting their peace, they don't feel the need to explain why they're doing what they're doing. Silence is their power move. 3, they are not emotionally available to everyone. They don't trauma dump or emotionally bleed to every friend. They are selective with who sees their soft side. And that's what makes it sacred. 4, they keep their promises to themselves. They don't cancel on themselves. If they said they go to the gym, they go. If they said they'd stop texting that guy back, they stop. It's not about discipline, it's about devotion. 5, they leave when they're not being valued. They don't wait to be destroyed before walking away. They leave at the first sign of misalignment, not the 50th. 6, they know they are the prize. Not in a cute Instagram caption way, but in a deep spiritual, I am the source kind of way. They know that whoever gets access to them is receiving abundance. They don't chase, they choose. This one is going to hurt, but it's where the healing begins. You're afraid of being alone because you've never seen your solitude as sacred. You've only ever experienced loneliness as punishment, not preparation. But let me tell you something most women don't realize until they're broken. The most powerful version of you doesn't come out when you're surrounded. She comes out when you're in the silence. I remember the first time I decided to actually be alone, not the fake alone where you still keep him on your story, not the fake alone where you stalk his new girl at 2 a.m. No, I mean truly alone. No distractions, no validation, just me and my emptiness. And I'll be honest, it was terrifying because the silence forced me to face the version of myself I had been avoiding, but it also did something else. It woke me up. I started seeing clearly, hearing myself clearly, dreaming again, feeling again, and slowly, I met the woman I had buried under years of self-neglect. Listen to me. You are not afraid of being alone. You're afraid of what the silence will show you. But that silence, it's the birthplace of your power. It's where you shed the need to be chosen. It's where you stop performing. It's where you stop seeking and start becoming. Because selfish women don't run from solitude. They walk into it and come out unstoppable. When you finally become that woman, everything changes. At first, you'll feel uncomfortable. You'll question yourself. You'll feel guilty. You'll feel mean. People will call you different, distant, hard, good. That means it's working. Because when you stop being the version of yourself that was convenient for everyone else, they will notice. They will push back. They will test you. But hold the line. Because after that, you become unrecognizable. Your skin glows differently, your energy speaks before you do, your standards go up, and so does your peace. You stop explaining yourself because your existence becomes your statement. You stop chasing love because you've become love. Selfish women attract everything they used to beg for. The love, it comes. The respect, it's automatic. The money, the opportunities, the protection, they start to chase you. Let me say it one last time, and I want you to let it land in your bones. Be selfish. Selfish women always win. They win peace, they win respect, they win time, they win the freedom to live their lives on their terms without guilt, without shame, without begging. Because in a world that profits off of your silence, your people-pleasing, your exhaustion, and your sacrifice, being selfish is rebellion. It's power. It's the deepest form of self-respect. So, no, you're not a bad person for choosing yourself. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let them be uncomfortable. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here to live. So go live fully. Loudly, unapologetically, like the selfish woman you were always meant to be.